You've probably been here before. The hunger pangs strike. You go into the kitchen for something to eat, and as you search the refrigerator, you see those spoiled leftovers you should have tossed in the trash a week ago, or notice that the fresh fruit you were excited about in the grocery store is now rotting. But new technology could help us all at least cut back on food waste.
An apple, and just like any piece of fruit or vegetable, it's a living thing, and so it's breathing.
In Chicago, scientists at Hazel Technologies created a small sachet that changes the way the apples breathe. The sachet slows ripening of apples by inhibiting how much of the hormone ethylene the fruit releases. The sachet, along with temperature control and oxygen deprivation, can keep apples fresh for months after harvest. It allows growers to store their produce and keep up with the year-round demand from consumers.
The plan wasn't to store, all year at all. The goal was probably 3, maybe 6 months, but they were a long ways from that when we started out. Now I want that fruit to be able to come out of storage and all get to the grocery store, not half of it or 3/4 of it.
Hazel Technologies is one of several companies coming up with ways to keep your produce fresher for longer. In California, Appeal Sciences uses a plant-based coating on the skin of produce like avocados to increase shelf life. Another California company, SavorPak, created a patch that controls moisture and keeps away bacteria. SavorPak claims produce can last 3 times longer with the patch. These sachets, patches, and coating tackle 2 major areas of food waste. Of the 81 million tons of food wasted in 2019, 21% of that waste happened at farms, while 13% was wasted during the manufacturing process, and another 13% was wasted in stores. But they could also help with food waste in homes. SavorPak says its patches could go in restaurant takeout containers, reducing moisture and keep food like French fries or fried chicken from losing their crisp and going soggy. Hazel Technologies says its sachets could be added to packaging in grocery stores.
We've demonstrated with the data that you can just pop this in, whether it's naked in the box, which would be just the fruit in the box, or whether there's some type of packaging.
The average household in the U.S. wastes about 1/3 of the food it buys. That comes to about $1,500 in groceries each year. This waste takes up space in landfills, and the rotting food releases the greenhouse gas methane.
Unfortunately, we still waste around 1/3 of food that is produced for human consumption, and that represents around 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. And with that, we waste the energy, the water, the nutrients, all the effort that went into producing that.
Companies around the world are popping up to take care of the food after it becomes waste. In Japan, researchers have taken cooking oil, fruit and vegetable peels, and eggshells to create biodiesel for trains, cement, and even furniture. But experts say families also play a huge role in this, recommending people compost their leftover food. You should also only buy what you need and avoid the temptation to buy more because of discounts. The EPA set a goal in 2022 of cutting food waste in half by 2030 through incentives for donating unused food to food banks, using wasted food for animal feed, and increasing composting programs. A dozen states have laws aimed at reducing food waste. Advocates say while laws will help, getting businesses and people to take more ownership is just as important.
The transformation of the food system will require adequate investment from farm to fork. And I'm not talking just about government capital here. We must have private sector capital as well.
We need a new business model that can put sustainability and resilience at the heart of food production. Basically, what we want is to be able to produce enough food, enough nutritious food for everyone, but with a system that can be also kind to the environment. It also means is us as consumers having a better connection with food. So we respect food, we don't throw it away.
In the U.S. alone, changing our food systems could save nearly $6 trillion a year in damage to the environment and to people, according to the Food and Land Use Coalition. It's also a job creator, with food startups in the U.S. raising nearly $5 billion in capital in 2021. Many of those startups are apps that help people save on their grocery bills while keeping food from going to waste. Flash Food lists deeply discounted goods at local stores that are near their expiration date. Too Good To Go lets people pay $5 and receive a surprise bag of items from a restaurant or bakery that would otherwise be thrown out at closing time. Olio connects neighbors so they can exchange food with each other or get it from businesses. Reducing food waste could produce delicious results for both the planet and our wallets.